Hello, and welcome to the Don't You Know I'm Local podcast. We're three cousins looking to break generational curses by sharing our mental health and healing journeys. Join me, Candy, Lisa, and
Renee,
as we talk about the things we're not supposed to talk about.
On the last episode of Don't You Know I'm Local.
Oh, we have two very special guests today. Yes. We have my mom and my Theo Pete. Yay!
We love it.
We love it. And it's a double.
Welcome,
we got
guys.
lucky.
Welcome, Theo and Thea.
Thank God, because I probably would have shot that fool. So I got home, and around 11, 12 o'clock, I went into my room because the garage was separate. So I went outside, looked at my car, and I'm like, oh, crap, my car's gone.
Oh, no.
He took my car, and I knew it was him. Thank God, because I probably would have shot that fool. Don't take my car and my music, okay?
Yeah.
Don't take my stuff.
They never mess with me again. It's because everything is not right living in the inner cities. And there's a lot of turmoil and, drugs and alcoholism and violence. If you're raised like that, that's something big. That's something big that you have to deal with all your life, basically. That's almost like a sentence.
And I was watching Peter struggle, watching everybody else, and me being the smallest was like, oh, so you don't do that. You got to do this. And this is how you learn. Oh, all right. Okay. It's pretty hard to see that at a younger age, watching your brother and your parents go through something like that. And you're like, oh, this is not good.
Now back to the show.
I rely on God. The old way. And sometimes there's like, what helped me a lot was when I went to actual preschool teaching.
Oh, that's right.
There's a lot of books there.
Do you want to say that really quick? What you used to be a preschool teacher for?
Yeah, I was a preschool teacher for a couple of years, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to school and read the books, read about it. And I go, hey, I didn't know that the minute you're conceived, whatever your mother is doing, it all goes through the child. Yeah. And it's true, because then you'll sit back and say, oh, so that's why this and this and that. Yeah. It's, it's like knowing and knowledge was good for me to rely on and see that, it helps. Yeah. Yeah. It helps to read about books about something that you don't know. And then you experience it, you read it, and you go, oh, so I'm not going to do this anymore because it affects a child. So let me just try to do this other stuff what they're recommending to help me grow with that. That helped a lot.
Oh my God.
Helped a very lot.
Like you had classes and stuff they had to take.
Yeah. The books and the teachers, the teachers that were there.
Huge difference.
They would tell you, well, this is happening because of that. And you got to watch a child from this and watch a child. And not until then is when I realized that there was books out there for me to be reading and knowing about how to raise a child. And that helped my mental health a lot.
Yeah.
To realize a lot of stuff as a mother.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's so much information out there that there's no excuse for just about anything. You can get information on anything. Any self-help, anything.
Yeah.
The information is out there. And YouTube being that type of
YouTube University?
Yeah, YouTube University. That's what I always say. You can look on YouTube University.
Oh, yeah. I look up everything there, and, you save money.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And it's just, and you learn, so yeah, that's a really, really good thing and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Theo? What do you do for self-care?
Well, I did have an episode last year, October of 23. I was starting to get a little dizzy, right? What the heck? But it was weird because it was only happening where it's a delivery in Carson that I used to have. It would kind of only happen there. And I thought it was because of the refineries. That are in the areas of refinery right across the street. And then a few times it did happen not there. So I started thinking about like, what the heck? And then Tony got a team together, football team, flag football, with Tony, Frank, Isaac, and Jaden. So all of us and me.
How fun.
Mhm.
So we had a football team.
Oh, cool.
You know? Yeah. So like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I want to play.
Uh-huh.
You know, the kids, grandkids, pop, like heck yeah.
That's cool.
So the first day we were gonna have practice. The
Uh-huh.
first day we were gonna have practice, I got a bad headache.
Uh-huh.
Right, like really bad headache. I never get headaches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was kind of like, what the heck? So I took some aspirin, right?
Mhm.
And I went like that. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. And I drove down the 105 to Bellflower
Mhm.
at this park.
Mhm.
And I get there and I was a little groggy. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why's my head hurting? So I get there and I told Tony, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna work out. I'm not feeling good.
Mhm.
So then they started working out, boom, boom. And I'm like, well, I got to get in this. So I did. I worked out with them.
Ay, tío.
And then I told Frank, that I was getting dizzy. Oh no, Dad, you better go take care of that.
Mhm.
Like that's not good.
Mhm.
I go, yeah, I know. I'm gonna. So I was waiting for Medicare to kick in
Mhm.
Mm.
November 1st,
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
and this was like October the 2nd.
Oh,
no.
I was waiting a month so I
Yeah.
could get checked out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And no, I'm not. I called Selena. I said, you know what? Something's going on. Like I gotta go to the doctor.
Mhm.
So she goes, let's go to the doctor in Tijuana.
Mhm.
So we went, and the doctor, did all the tests, and Selena and Chavo went with me and stuff.
Mhm.
And they, the doctor's like, oh shoot, like your cholesterol is really high,
Mm.
and you might have had a blockage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you might have a slight blockage in your, because I got it like right here.
Mhm.
So I was numb, like all right
Oh,
here.
wow.
Oh
I
my
got kind of numb, like
gosh.
from here on up. I was numb, and the headache I got like right here. And I stayed numb for like 8 months, 10 months.
Oh,
And little by little
wow.
it started going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he gave me some medicine,
Uh-huh.
some statins and stuff. He goes, yeah, take the statins. So I took them, and then he goes, you're gonna have to change your diet. No more meat, like no red meat.
Uh-huh.
You just got to eat fish, no shrimp.
Yeah.
Just anything with high cholesterol.
Mhm.
Just stay away from it and stuff. And I changed my diet.
Mm.
Wow.
I changed my
Good for
diet. I was
you.
about 164 at the time,
Mhm.
and I'm like 150 right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm staying at around 150.
Mhm.
And I called my coach because he said you have to exercise, but I'm not gonna run nowhere. Like, I'm not gonna run just to run. I'm not a runner. So I'm like, I'm gonna run. It's got to be a reason to run. So I called my coach. I'm like, hey, quiero jugar football. I want to play some soccer and stuff. Oh, pues aquí estamos. Vente. So I did. I came, started playing with this. I've been playing since then.
Yeah.
And that exercise, it helped out so much.
Oh, that's good.
You can't imagine how much exercise helps out
Yeah.
Yeah.
because your blood needs oxygen.
Mhm.
Your blood needs oxygens. Your muscles, if you don't use your muscles, you lose them,
Mhm.
especially at an older age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the only thing that I'm missing right now is working out.
Mm.
Because working out is hard. You have to really get into it. And
Yeah.
Frank calls me, Dad, look, just exercise like a half an hour for 3 days a week and you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And dang it, I can't even do that. Sometimes I get into it and then I fall away again.
Yeah.
So I have to, can anybody invent an exercise pill to take? So you can,
Right?
yeah.
Like, don't you wish you could drop your body off at the gym and then pick it up like an hour later?
Yeah.
Right?
I'll be back in about 2. Okay. Yeah. So that's the
Okay.
hard part, but I know I need it. And for me, all I have to do is start working out a little bit because I have a thin body and
Yeah.
I'll feel really bad.
Yeah.
Really good,
Uh-huh.
When I do work out, I'm like, oh yeah, I go in the shower. I'm like, oh yeah, what's going on here? Like, cool. I like this.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
a couple weeks later, oh crap. It's like, oh, that's the hard
Yeah.
part. But yeah, diet.
Mhm.
And the most important thing is this. And if you're not a believer, listen to this, okay? Listen to this. If like going to church is one thing.
Mhm.
It's almost like this. This is the difference between going to church and going to Bible study. Okay?
Mhm.
This is going to church.
Mhm.
Okay? Bible study, 2 40-pound dumbbells.
Mhm.
That's Bible study.
Okay.
You're going to be strong. You're going to be able to withstand
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that comes your way.
Mhm.
Doing this, you're not going to withstand.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
But it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
Go to church, listen to a couple of sermons, you
Mhm.
know, and everything, but you're not eating anything. You know, going to Bible study is the meat and potatoes
Mhm.
of your spiritual strength.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I went to Bible study when I got divorced
Mhm.
with Timberly. I changed. I said, you know what? No, this is it. I'm done. Done
Mhm.
with all this other stuff. Go to Bible, and it didn't start off like that. Let me tell you, it started off. Frankie's cousin.
Mhm.
What's his name? You know, one of Frankie's cousins. Stevie.
Mm.
Yeah. I called up Stevie. I said, you know what? Forget this.
Favi,
I'm gonna go party.
Ah.
Melissa.
so,
We're
so-
talking about Steve.
so I called up Stevie and we started hanging out
Uh-huh.
with Stevie, right? So we go to these bars and stuff. And I
Uh-huh.
was drinking. And one time I was coming home. I'm like, I'm a driver. And I'm out here drinking and
Mhm.
driving. I'm like, oh yeah, this is not cool. So hey, Stevie, you still want to do this? Okay, can you come pick me up? Oh no, I don't. I'm not doing this no more. Like
Mhm.
I'm done. Like unless you pick
Yeah.
me up, we'll go.
Uh-huh.
And then time went by. I go. What the heck am I doing? Like
Yeah.
no, you know.
Mhm.
Boom. Went and signed up for Bible study.
Mhm.
Changed my life.
Mm.
Changed my life.
Okay.
I learned a lot. Because I was not only doing Bible study, but I was listening to Christian radio.
Oh, okay.
You know, I know all the pastors that say, oh, Catholicism is bad or whatever, or this and that. I
Mhm.
listened to all of them. I would just block that other stuff off.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
should
You know
do
what I
that.
mean? Because it's still Bible study.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still Bible study. And they do have really good Bible study.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And yeah, it really taught me a lot. And as far as like having that control, that self-control,
Yeah.
you know, because even now, like if I don't read, like I have pages, I open up a Bible, I'm like, dang, that was like 5 months ago that I read this. Like I haven't touched a book, you know, and it's just sitting there.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, no. And then I always just come back and start reading. And
Yeah.
as soon as I start reading, my life just changes. Everything I do
Yeah.
changes.
Mhm.
Like the way I think, the way I feel,
Yeah.
everything. And it's like, how come I don't do this all the time?
Uh-huh.
Like, what the heck?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that's not cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know it's there.
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know? And I treat people good. I'd always help. I'm always helpful. My mom taught us, you know,
Mhm.
I'm always helpful with people. I go out of my way to please my boss, to please my woman,
Mhm.
my kids,
Mhm.
way out of my way,
Yeah.
you know? So I think God looks at that too,
Mm.
you know?
So it's almost like, because I know that religion and faith is something big that
Mhm.
your parents, our grandparents
Mhm.
raised you guys with. So you guys both answered to self-care, that your faith is what
Mhm.
you guys use as self-care. So it's almost
Mhm.
like that's something that my abuelita and abuelito instilled in you
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah,
like
for sure.
that
Uh-huh.
unknowingly, their self-care
Uh-huh.
is what you guys still use now as
Oh, yeah.
adults.
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And all the other ones too.
Uh-huh.
Some of them.
And if I
Yeah.
can just say
Some
really
of them.
quick, that was passed down to us too, and some of us took it, some of us didn't.
Mhm.
But because we didn't know the relationship with Jesus, like right,
Mhm.
because it's once you have that relationship and you know who He really is,
Mhm.
your life changes. Because
Mhm.
the Bible, like I would read the Bible and I'd be like, I don't understand, I don't get it. Like I don't want to read this. This is boring. I don't
Mhm.
like it. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then once I knew Jesus, I was like, Jesus, help me. Like, help me read this. I don't understand. Right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
real talk.
Mm.
And the answers would come at me.
Mhm.
They're in the way
They
to
talk
live
to
is
you.
in the Bible.
Yeah, the way
And
to
it's
live.
crazy because we were
It's our
raised
owner's
to go to
manual.
church, to go to church, right?
Mhm.
And you have to go to church, and you're just sitting there like, oh my God, hurry up, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then and this is coming from someone that like we were raised into it, right? Like we were born into it.
Mhm.
There's so many people that have no idea who Jesus is, have no idea who God is, right?
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have that connection. They don't have that.
Yeah.
And I feel so
Sorry.
ungrateful, or not ungrateful, but like I don't want to like what is that called? Like being not ungrateful, but being like Like I was privileged to be introduced to God, right? And that's how I feel. That's how I see it. Because I'm like, man, there's so many people that don't know.
Yeah.
And once they know, it's like food, right? It's like, oh my God, I can't get enough of him, right? Because he's always there. He is always there, no matter even if you don't want him to be there, he is there. And it's just call on him, and I promise you, he will be there. It's his so beautiful.
His promises are so real. Let me tell you. I'll give you an example. He says that, if you're with him, he'll give you the desires of your heart. You give yourself to him, and he'll get that. I can't think of anywhere or anything that I'm doing right now that I would rather do than when I am right now. I have a great family. I have a good little job that pays me well. I'm retired. I never thought I would be retired. It's like I have lived such a heavenly life here on earth. Okay. It's amazing. He'll have you say the word amazing more than you would ever said it in your life. Okay. But you got to give yourself to him. You know what I mean? And it's hard because all he wants you to do is help yourself. He's doing it for you, not for him,
Yeah.
And it's just, it's such a different life when you live like that. And, we would all wish everybody can have that. And we understand that that's not the way.
Because it feels good, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels so good.
Yeah. And it's just, the thing I was going to tell you is like, also he fills your coffers.
Comfort. Right?
Coffers is like your financial. He fills your coffers.
Oh,
We call it coffers. Yeah. He fills that. Right now, I never thought I would be in a position where I feel like I'm a millionaire. I don't know why, but I feel like I feel like a millionaire. I feel richer than Ralph, my brother, and to be in that position, and my mom always tell us, oh, den limosna, porque te va a regresar. He's going to give you back. Don't worry. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that, because we give and we give to charities, that we want to give to. And I'm always telling Silva, she goes, pues cuánto vamos a dar? Vamos a darte esto. And I tell her, well, this is how much we're going to give. You give me, and you give me what you want to give me. This is how much I'm putting in. She goes, oh, okay, yo te doy también. I go, no, baby, we have to give. We're so blessed. We're so blessed that we need to give. We need to give, because if we don't give of our time, of our energy, at least we can give of our money. Okay? So we have to give up something, So that's the way we do it and stuff,
So what is your guys' favorite childhood memory? Since we've been talking about your childhood.
Me first.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we got a bicycle.
Oh.
My dad took out, I guess, his life savings or something.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
really?
We
I
got a
remember
bicycle.
that.
We didn't get two.
Yeah.
We got one.
You had to share
We had to share the bicycle.
Aw.
That is
I was like, I remember I was so happy I got a bicycle because everybody else had a bicycle. Everybody had one. So it was like, we're the one that, we're like chasing everybody. We're like, somebody drop a bicycle and we got to share their bicycle too. Their friends would share the bicycle with us. But that's my favorite, is that I know my dad sacrificed a lot for one Christmas to give us a bicycle, and it was blue.
It was blue.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we went to Thrifty's. Peter says, you take care of the bicycle or I take care of the bicycle, and somebody stole it.
No.
That is like, oh, wow. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Thrifties? Oh, really?
Thrifties, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So how about you, Peter?
I had a bicycle stolen at the boys' market. I told the guard, "Hey, can you watch this?" Next thing you know, it's gone.
Oh,
And you know who had stole it? They caught the kid. The kid that later on would tell me that I'm gonna get you. Him.
That same guy, huh?
No way.
Yeah, it was
He's
him.
following you.
He stole. What was his last name? Walker. I forgot what his first name was, but he had a brother that was my age, and then another older brothers. but his last name was Walker. I remember his last name was Walker.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I remember that. But my childhood memory,
Favorite.
I have to dig deep for a good childhood memory.
All right, we'll let you think on it. What is some advice that you guys would give your younger selves now?
Yeah. With all the knowledge you guys have now, what would you tell little Guille?
To keep on being kind.
Oh, and you're like the most kindest person I know. We so appreciate
I'm glad
you.
to make a
and
difference.
You make a huge
because
difference.
I tried so hard to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
you've
fill
done
up
a
my
good job.
cup, but
No.
yeah, mainly
Yeah.
to be kind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What about you, Theo?
I would say, work hard, keep yourself busy, because when you're idle and you don't do, stuff, your mind could do, you need to stay busy. You need to stay busy. You don't have to do what you like. You know what I mean? Keep busy. If you're doing what you like, it's not a chore anymore. It's not work anymore. It's like, oh, this is cool. Like, do something that you wake up every day and you're like, I get to do this.
For you.
You know?
Oh, by the way, Renee is here, guys. He's on the side. I realized that we didn't say where Renee was. He's being a producer. He always volunteers when we have 2 guests that he's out. So I've tried. He doesn't let me. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I would say that. Keep busy. Work hard. Do what you like.
Okay.
As far as like say, because it's something that we do every day is go to work. So what I tell people is not so much the money, although it is hard nowadays, making a living and paying rent and everything's so expensive. Do something that you like so you can get up in the morning. I mean, to get up in the morning and say, I love my job. I love what I do.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing. That is really good. That'll keep your mind
right.
a good cut. Right. Yeah. It'll you won't have all these issues where I got to deal with this and I got to deal with that. And I really don't want to. And that's not a good life. That's not a good mental state you want to be in.
Yeah.
You want to be in a mental state where you love your life. You love what you're doing, and it's up to you to make those choices.
Yeah.
You can make a choice to do this or to do that. I see a lot of people, you come in, I'm making a delivery, and like, hey, what do you got? They got these bad attitudes. Like, well, why are you working here? And it's, sometimes you end up at a job because you just need a job.
Yeah.
But you don't have to stay there. You can use that as something to make a living, to support yourself, but then start looking for something else that you really like, that you really want to do, and that's in your style, whatever you like. I think that's half the battle,
Yeah.
is living a lifestyle. What I tell people, it's the quality of life that you live. Not so much. Being rich doesn't mean having a lot of money. Being rich is having a quality of life to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you balance your work with my family. Because the jobs that I've had, it's I'm going to do this job because I have to do this in my life. I have to take care of my kids. I have to, I coached my kids for all these years, and they're probably barely starting to realize what I did for them. Although Peter, when he was like 25, told me, Dad, I hated playing baseball. I hated doing that stuff. But I want to tell you, thank you, Dad, for pulling me out of there, because if it was up to me, I would have stayed playing video games in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Because he did thank me.
Oh, that's
You know what I mean? Because we're the parents.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And sometimes we, I probably should have put Peter in music class, not sports, but I didn't know. I just knew what I know.
Yeah, you knew
know what
what
I mean?
made you feel good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did what I knew. I didn't know about
Yeah.
music and stuff, or I would have. I put Tony in music. That was the wrong thing to do. I had the wrong kid.
Yeah. The right idea, wrong kid. That's cool. So what are your guys' thoughts on our podcast? What do you guys think about us doing this?
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah.
You watch it, Theo?
Yeah, I watch some episodes and stuff when I get a chance. Yeah, there's a lot of them that I have to watch. What number are you on?
This would be episode 52. I
Oh,
believe 52
wow,
or
that's a
53.
lot. Yeah, I gotta catch up and stuff. So, I mean, I watched the Frank when I watched the.
You did?
Fun.
I don't know if we mentioned, but Theo Pete is Frank's dad, Tony's dad, and Peter's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I mentioned the episodes, but yeah, he's their dad.
Yeah.
He's
the fighter.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna clear that up. Okay.
Okay, here's your chance.
Here's my chance. Because when all three of them says, I'm like, what the hell? Like they made me look like some cholo guy with a beard. I'm gonna just beat everybody up. No, it's not like that. See, like I said, I had to defend myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's one thing I don't like, and I don't like cheaters, liars, and most of all, bullies. So if I see any of that on a court, on anywhere, if I see somebody getting bullied, I might get in trouble that day because I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
And that's just the way I grew up.
Yeah.
So when I see somebody cheating on the basketball and trying to do all that, I'm like, hey man, you better cut that out. It's like, what? Yeah, that's right. See what happens. You know, actually I got into it.
There you go.
Yeah, and then they most of the time they settle down because they know I'm serious. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I'm not doing anything against anybody.
Yeah,
I'm trying to stop them.
Yeah.
From doing that, and people are just let it go. I go, no, man, I'm not gonna let it go. That's not right. What he's doing. And my mom always told us, no, that's not right. You're not supposed to do that. Don't cheat. Don't lie. Don't not on my space.
Yeah.
You know, get out of my space and you can do whatever you want. When you're in my space, you better play right and play by the rules. You know what I mean? Or else I'm going to try to handle it the best way I can, you know, without getting violent. But if it comes down to that, you know, and that's the only reason. It's not like I offensively try to mess with people.
Yes.
You know, it's more of a, nah, man, don't do that. You know, it's not, that ain't cool. Like even today, I'm like, oh my gosh. So we have a play, right? And this is the fourth game we've had. And they pass the ball to this guy. So I run over there and I jump in front of him and get the ball, right? But as I jump in front of him, he's trying to push me back. And I push him with my shoulder, knock him on his butt, right? And clean play, right? He gets up. Hey, man. I go, fool, the ref is standing right there. And he didn't even call a foul, much less a yellow card.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, he gets in my face. I go, dude, don't get in my face, man. I will knock you out right now. So he's standing in front like, what? I go, you heard me? I'm standing right in front of you. You heard me? I said, man, you're a little bitch. I said, we're playing soccer, fool. This isn't tiddlywinks or ping pong or anything. Like we're playing a contact sport. I get knocked on my ass. I don't ever cry. You know what I mean? You're a little crybaby, man. Then the ref comes.
But you don't fight.
Then the rest. I was waiting for him to do something. Like I'm not gonna hit him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm defensive. So the ref comes over there and gives us both yellow cards. And I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. Like, okay. You got these fools gonna start crying and stuff. And then the team that I was playing on, they're all Argentinians. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Good.
Were they good? They were all right. They just we didn't have no speed, but they were crybabies.
Oh no!
I don't want to play crybabies. Yeah. They were kind of crying, you know, complaining about everything. I don't like to play that stuff. Mexicano stuff. Let's go. Let's do this stuff. You know. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm never going to attack anybody. I'm never going to mess with anybody. You know what I mean? But if you're in my space and you try to get out of line, you're not going to get out of line. Not with my teammates, not with me, not with the situation that we're in right now. That's the only thing that I do. And I can't control, but you know, it gets a little chippy sometimes. I think the last violent thing that happened was Tony asked me to play. Like the end of last year. The end of last year, middle of last year. Hey, Dad, I need some players. We'll play playoffs. I'm like, all right, I'll come and play with you, you know, because I can still play defense with Tony. You know, I can't shoot that good anymore like before.
Oh, this is basketball?
Yeah, basketball, right? So we're playing these black guys and stuff, big dudes, you know, and you know, it's getting a little, you know, some of the guys that played on his team before and stuff like that, and we're playing, and Jaden gets into it with this guy, right?
Jaden is his grandson.
Yeah, my grandson Jaden, who's 16 at the time, gets into it with this guy, and Jaden grabs the black guy and starts pushing him back like that. Jaden's kind of big, right? And the black guy pushes Jaden, and Tony was on the bench. Tony comes off the bench and grabs the black guy who's played on his team, right? And I don't remember his name, but you played with us one time when we played with him. It was a black guy. He was like 6'1", kind of light skinned. And him and Tony are like this, right? Tony's like this, right? Right? It's like, what's up, man? He was my son. So then this other black guy, the biggest guy, goes over there and tries to grab Tony. So they circle around the back. He tries to grab Tony. So I grab him by the neck.
Oh my God.
Like this, right? I'm like, man, fool, what's up? That's my son. I'm like, no. So I have him by the neck. And then finally they break us up. And then, so we're on the court and the black guy, we're getting ready to start playing again, right? And then the black guy's, man, I'm gonna knock you out. Tells me, right? Right? And our biggest guy, he comes over there, the hell you are. Like that big dude. He's like 6'2", 260, like big dude and big bad dude too. So he's like, the hell no. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. You know, like, no, you ain't gonna come this way. So then that was it. You know, we finished the game and everything. But yeah, you know.
You and my mom are polar opposites.
I watched him and I said, ooh. Cálmate.
You got in trouble enough for both of you.
See that? I didn't start anything. I was protecting.
You don't start it, you just finish it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Like, no, let's get this. Look, we don't need none of this. You know what I mean?
So, Mom, what about you? What do you think about the podcast?
I think thumbs up.
My mom says thumbs up.
I think you guys are doing such a great job, and I'm so proud of all of you.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
She's our number one fan, guys. She listens.
Peace out. I love you guys.
Oh, we love you. We love you so much.
Mom.
Yeah, you know, I really one of the main reasons for me to come to the tournament too is I get to see my family.
I'm happy you came.
You know, I get to see you guys. We don't see each other like we used to. You know, you guys lived over there. We used to be all together all the time, and we miss that. You know, times change, things change.
Yeah,
it's understandable. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we don't want to be around you guys. You know what I mean? It's just. You know, things are the way they are. That's it. You know?
I will say that when we did our suggestion box for our Christmas party with our family, my dear Pete was the only one to put a suggestion in. And it literally was like, talk about growing up in the hood. So I'm glad we put that into fruition and he got to come talk about living in the hood. So thank you for putting your suggestion and thank you guys for being on the podcast. Yeah.
And
it's nice to
to
hear.
let you guys know too that you guys are blessed to live in good neighborhoods and good areas. You don't want to grow up like that. If you live in that area, do whatever you can to get out. Because it's not good. It's not going to change. You know, not going to be much changes. You just got to work extra hard and do a little better to. That's one thing good thing that came out of it. Me living like that is my kids were not going to grow up like that.
Exactly.
Not even close.
No.
I think my kids, like Tony and Peter, never been in trouble. You know, I think Tony got suspended one time for a bully. Somebody was bullying him, and he hit him back, so he got suspended. So I was going to go take care of the principal, right? Guess who the vice principal was? Christy, Raphael's granddaughter, which was who's
she the oldest? No.
Oh, Sam's. Sam's daughter. Sam's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Your cousin Sam, his daughter. Her husband.
Oh wow!
He was the vice president because
vice principal.
Yeah, vice principal of the school. And I didn't know until I went over there to Lina's one time, and he was there. I'm like, oh, that's the vice principal.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah. So I told Timberly, because I go, oh heck no! I go, my son should be able to protect himself. Forget all that no something policy. You know, no, that don't work for me. Yeah. So I told Timberly, I said, you better go handle this. You don't want me to go handle this. Yeah. So she did. She went and told her. I said, just tell him this. Tell him, no, man, my son, you know, you suspend him. Go ahead, suspend him. Yeah. But he's going to protect himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you know, it's you know, that's the way I look at it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you got to be able to protect yourself. Too,
Yeah.
you know? Especially with little guys. You know, little guys are always going to get bullied and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but no, I like this. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, we've definitely learned amongst each other. And it's cool that we get to share this with you guys and stuff. Like, even with Tony, Peter, and Frank coming on and to tell their stories and the subjects that they picked, you know. I know this was kind of unplanned, but I'm glad that we were able to talk to you guys and kind of hear what it is that you guys grew up in and what you guys think of what we're trying to do and what we're, you know, putting out there for our generation and, you know, and it like affects all the generations, right? Because you guys are listening and then we know all of our cousins our age are listening, but in that we're helping the younger, you know, the generations after, like their kids to be like, hey, look, this is what we grew up from, you know, what you guys grew up from and how we grew up. And now we get to change the narrative.
Change the narrative. That's the biggest thing is changing the narrative because we all have that. God has given us all that right is to change our narrative because he gives us our will, right? And we choose to, I mean, I choose to follow his will.
You make your choices.
Everything follows.
And the thing too about being an immigrant, you know, that's in kind of in the headlines right now.
Yeah.
The immigration thing, you know, and you know, the more people understand about the area we live in, you know, because like we're immigrants in our own land, you know, basically. Basically, we're immigrants in our own land. Okay, like figure that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and the way, you know, the colonization part, you know, like what's that rapper? The new rapper that they're not like us.
Kendrick Lamar
from Compton, right? Like he brings that out. You're a colonizer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, they're those type of people. And there is those type of people that are colonizers. There's people that are like us, like our culture, Tarasco Indian is more planting food and looking into the future, where you have the Aztecas and the Mayans that think about food the next day. See, they're hunters and gatherers, right? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's why like a lot of Hispanics are good workers and stuff is because they have that, the culture, you know, the culture of working the land every day, work, you know what I mean? Where the Aztecs are a little bit different. They're just like, I'm not going to do nothing. Well, okay, I'm hungry. Let me go eat. You know what I mean? I'm going to go kill something. You know, so yeah, and you know, and being an immigrant, like the immigration thing is like it is pretty tough. Because you know we're what do you call that? We're in our own land.
Yeah, it's like stolen land.
This is like stolen land.
Yeah.
You know, and I know the story. I've read about it, how it happened, how they went from New England to Texas to the coast and all that other stuff, and how they did it, how they worked it, you know, and you know, and we have to deal with that, you know, we have to deal with us being immigrants, because right now you can be legal, you can be a U.S. citizen, but if you look like me, you know, they can say, hey, come here, we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, I'm American citizen. I was born and raised here. You're going to ship me out to where?
Yeah.
You know, El Salvador? Really? Like, no. Like, what the heck? You know? So yeah, you know, that's a big thing. That's I'm having that issue now. You know, because, you know, I had my little scuffles when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now that's coming back to bite me. You know, kind of my fault. But if Biden was president, I would have went to Fiji. Okay, seriously, like I'm losing, like it's affecting me. You know what I mean? And when it affects you, that's when it really hits you. You know what I mean? And there's other things like I said, I can't go to my dentist in Tijuana. Because I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't even taking a chance to get in the plane over here. I'm like, wait a minute, that's ICE? No. Oh no, I just go take my license, right? So I think I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is affecting, you know, and we do have to deal with that right now.
Yeah.
You know, if you got tattoos and stuff and you look like a gang, you might get swept up. And you're a regular person.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
It's
scary.
like, That's something to deal with right now. We're all going through that right now.
Yeah.
Mentally, you know, immigrants. You imagine the black people, the Venezuelans, and the
the Afro Latinos.
Yeah, and then the other ones, like say from
Cuba or
Cuba, and the other
Dominican.
No, Middle East too. All of them.
All of us.
All of us. You know, you're brown.
White.
You're dealing with it right
Black
now.
and brown.
You know, you're dealing with it, and you know, we'll see how that goes. You know, we'll see how that goes. But that's one thing that everybody's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
You know, as far as a mental thing,
being singled out.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, it's
just
United
States,
States.
you know?
Yeah.
You know, like that's what we're based out of.
Yeah.
Immigrants.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
that's
based on
what,
immigrants.
Yeah.
You know?
And I guess that's what they don't like.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They just want, you know,
Another
them.
Yeah.
You know, but what do? You know, I mean, it is what it is. Like somebody said, it is what it is. You know, it's like you're not gonna get rid of everybody. It's like, you know, it's like we're here to stay. We're not
Thank
going
goodness for
anywhere.
the Constitution.
Yeah.
For now.
For now. Yeah.
All right. Well, are you guys ready to get deep? We pick a question from our deep cards here,
Oh, okay.
and we read it.
Cool. All right.
Here, let me pick this. I picked a specific one. That I was going through them. It says, "What makes you feel confident?"
Feel confident. Go ahead, Guille.
I'll go first. My style.
Your style?
Ooh.
Your style? Oh,
My
okay.
style.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes me
cool,
feel
cool.
confident.
Yeah.
My wiseness.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My wiseness. Piece of cake.
Yeah. Yeah, because every time I see you, I learn something. Yeah. Yeah.
What about
that's
you?
Another thing you learn from others.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Your wiseness. What about you, Lisa?
My faith.
Okay.
Definitely my faith, because I can do anything through God. Like, but if I put my faith or if I put my will, if I do, it's not going to go. It's not going to go well. So I do put a lot of my faith in my everyday life, and it helps me. So,
Yeah.
What about you, Theo?
I'm gonna sound bragacious, okay?
It's okay.
My athleticism and intellect.
Yeah. As you should. Okay. I told Renee, I said, my Theo Pete is out here for a soccer tournament in his 60s. Okay. He's more active than me. That put the pressure on. Hold on. My Theo's out here in a tournament. And
I think we were on a text message, and then Renee was like, he's here for a tournament, and you're like, for what?
Yeah, I was like, for what?
Poker tournament.
For what?
Your grandchildren or something.
Yeah,
Not for
who's
you.
playing, Tony?
Whose tournament? His. He's in his 60s playing soccer tournament. Okay, still
That is
throwing
so
elbows,
badass.
as you heard. Okay.
This morning.
And I was happy to let Penelope know that my brother was coming over and that he was going to play soccer just like she does. And she goes, "What? That age?" I go, "See?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, he's coming. He's going to do a tournament." And I was
That's
like,
cool.
"Oh, okay, Grandma."
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
It was a nice,
Cool.
unplanned extra episode. And thank you
Mhm.
for answering all
It was
of
a
our
treat.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah. And sharing, because I feel like that's something that we don't get to hear your guys' stories, right? Unless we ask. And so thank you for sharing your stories.
I got one thing.
All right.
Go for it.
Let's hear the last one.
Okay, so that was a couple of stories, okay?
Okay.
And Snoop Dogg has a song,
Uh-huh.
and one of his lyrics is, "I just got off parole. More stories in the highway patrol."
Theo, you can't say that word.
But it was GGA. It wasn't the ER. Okay.
Okay.
I could say it.
No.
Because if I say that to my friends, they're cool with it. Okay. And they're black. Okay.
Okay.
Me
cool.
being from Compton, you can say, like, if I'm from Lakewood, no, I can't say that.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to put the disclaimer in.
Yeah. But it was just a lyric. I wasn't
Renee's
saying
gonna-
it to say it to anybody.
Renee's gonna bleep it out. It's okay.
Yeah, just bleep it.
Just that
bleep
word.
it. They know what I was going to say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yes. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming. It was a nice treat. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
And give us a thumbs up. And
Cool.
don't forget to use 211 as a resource. It's a local resource. Renee shared that with us. That
Okay.
yeah, Gisela had mentioned that 211. You dial 211 and it'll give you local resources
Oh, okay.
for a variety of
Different things.
Just different
Mhm.
things, yeah.
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 Oh, okay, cool.
And then tune in next week for our episode on personal accomplishments.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I want to see that one. I
Uh-huh.
like that. I like that. That was really good.
So he's
Mhm.
going
That's
to
gonna be
do
tough.
another soccer tournament. to come again.
Yeah, because you most of the time you're talking about what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
but now you're going to talk about what's been done.
Yeah.
That's good because you want to see results. You know how you see what's that show where they buy stuff and then they
Shark
buy
Tank.
Huh?
Shark Tank?
No, not Shark Tank.
Oh.
It's they have it here in Las Vegas. The place. The place is here in Las Vegas, and it's a TV show. Pawn Stars.
Oh.
You know, they
okay.
always they buy it, but you don't ever see
Yeah.
them selling it for that
Yeah,
price. Oh yeah, it's worth this
uh-huh.
much. You don't even you want to see them sell it for that price. You know what I mean?
You want to
Gotcha,
see
yeah.
the
You want the
results.
results.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So you
right.
want to see results.
Well, thanks again, guys. See you next
You're
week.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. If you are in need of any medical assistance, please contact your local provider. If you are having thoughts of suicide, please call the National Suicide Hotline at 988. In case of emergency, call 911. See you next week as we talk about
The things we're not supposed to talk about.